make this team what it is. And being a Colts fan, and just knowing the AFC South is like they've. It's just been the offensive line. It's like sometimes as a defensive coach, it's like you can get blinded by the defense and just focused on the defense. And I feel like that's kind of what's happening because the defense is stout at every position. And it's like maybe we are neglecting the offensive line. The offensive side of the ball a little bit too much to not see that. Like we need some staples in that offensive line.
I will
And
say
maybe
this though.
maybe it's by committee. Maybe you bring in a bunch of guys and just see who stick. And maybe by the end of training camp you let some guys go. But it's like they
I
got
mean,
to
I
figure
think they'll
that out.
sign off offensive lineman or two in the draft, just not there. And on top of that, believe it or not, I believe I heard, I can't remember the exact stat, but their offensive line metric wise was not as bad as people make them out to be. The struggle came with CJ Stroud making mistakes, and that's really what started crushing him. He just was making
Man.
he just hadn't been playing well,
Ooh.
and that was not offensive. I mean that ain't
I
on
mean,
him.
maybe not that year, but I mean, like, if you go from a year before where, I think we see this with a lot of guys. Like, you know, you have a year where you've hit more than you've probably ever been hitting your football career. And then that next year, you know what I mean? Even though it's a new line and they playing better, like, your feet aren't set the right way. You just don't feel comfortable. So maybe it could have just been him not feeling comfortable. Because the Texans are right at the mark where it's like, either
They
we make
team's
a
ready to win.
playoff.
They ready to
Yeah,
win.
they like their market is like, hey, look, if we make some noise in the playoffs, because Stroud's contract, you got to make a decision.
If I'm them, I'm prioritizing Will because of what Will. I mean, Will Anderson is as young as that dude is. I mean, he is one of the best pass rushers you have in the NFL. And now, I'm not saying this is going to be the case, but you're coming upon a year where next year, quote unquote, you're going to have a very strong quarterback class. So if you do have to make a change, you do have a quarterback you can bring in with a team that's loaded on a rookie deal and kind of reset it again and allows you to kind of rebuild. Now, I'll be honest, I would play it that way because before now, if CJ comes out has an MVP type year, that's a different conversation. But if CJ continues to struggle, I wouldn't feel comfortable saying, "Hey, CJ, here's $55 million a year, for the next 3 years, even if it's just a 3 year deal." Versus I'm gonna just run it back with an. I'm gonna go find another guy I can get for a fraction of that cost. You know what I mean? Because everywhere else they strong, they just got to get good play out of CJ, and then their offensive line actually has to continue to get better, like
Oh,
you